Alrighty, hopefully you guys enjoyed that very dramatic intro. That's a race we get into a little bit later in the video, but for now, this is a 20-minute race around Spa. This is the NSS Racing League. It's a GT3 league I'm doing. Qualified in P3 with a 16.8. Around the final turn we go into the green flag. We're going to be side by side with the Mustang in P2 down to turn 1. P1 checked out in front of us. He got a great run. We're going to go ahead and brake nice and early here. We're going to hug and squeeze this inside wall to avoid any contact. Mustang gets a little bit better run than us, so he'll have the power advantage. I go ahead and back off a little bit, let him slot back into P2. It's a 20-minute race, so we got plenty of time to catch up. We'll hold P3 going into Radion and Eau Rouge. We're going to go ahead and skip forward to lap 8. P1 and P2 are very fast around here, so the entire race is just trying to keep up with them. Going into turn 7, they're going to start battling. This is going to give us an opportunity to catch up and get into the fight. Our blue Mustang friend's going to go hang around the outside out of turn 9, going into turn 10. It's going to put them back into P1. We were able to make up some pretty significant time from them battling. We're going to go for a very late apex here, try to get on the power as soon as possible, going into turn 11. Try to carry as much speed through here as possible, and we're still trailing P2 at this point. Coming up to turn 12, I think this is the most technical part of the track. Very easy to get wrong and die. We hang on this time. It's crucial for our race to stay up with these guys. This is the penultimate lap. Eventually P2 is going to get impatient and start getting aggressive, which is exactly what happens here. We're on board with him. He sends it around the outside, and there's a bit of a net code contact here. That's going to send the Mustang out wide, touching the gravel, killing his run. We're able to follow P1 through and now claim P2. At the end of the final lap, pink Porsche in front of us had some great pace, so we're not able to do much against him. As we cross the final turn onto the last straight, we're going to go and stay in P2 as we cross the line. Moving on to race 2, this is a 50-minute feature race. Top 7 are inverted for this race, so I'll be starting in P6. We're going to go and hop on board with the blue Mustang right behind in front of us in P5. He gets kind of a poor run out of the final turn, so this alleviates some pressure from us going into turn 1. Going into turn 1, I brake way too late, almost fucking murder this McLaren in front of us. I go out to the outside. This absolutely destroys my run, gives the blue Mustang a chance to catch up to me. He repays the favor though from race 1. He lets me slot back into P5 going into Radion. Mustang does have excellent straight line speed through here, so now my worry is him catching up to me on the Kimmel straight. So I'm going to go and stay flat out here on cold tires, and this gives us a little bit of a gap going into turn 7. Going into turn 7, we're following the McLaren through that we almost murdered earlier. Going through turns 8 and 9, I got a pretty decent gap from the Mustang behind us, so I didn't have to defend too much. Get an excellent run out of turn 9, so we're going to go ahead and look up the inside a little bit, but I decide better of it to go and back out. And we're going to go nice and late apex here again. Trying to stay as close as possible to the McLaren in case any opportunities arise. However, everything stays clean through turn 11. You're going to see this a lot. I go into second gear for turn 11, which absolutely destroys my run every single time I do it. It happens a couple times during this race, and it hurts me to watch it back. But through turn 12 we go. McLaren in front of us goes a little bit wide. He lifts. This is going to put us right against his bumper. We're going to look to the outside. We think better of it. We slot back into P5 going into turn 13. It's a 15-minute race. I don't want to risk anything. We still got a while to go. However, coming out of turn 16, the McLaren lifts. This is going to put me right alongside of him. My whole plan of not risking anything goes completely out the window. I stay flat out going through Blanchimont in hopes that he will lift. Thankfully, he does. I'm able to not die and go up the inside and move up into P4. Skipping forward to the end of lap 2, we managed to get a pretty good gap against the McLaren behind us. We caught up to this Aston Martin in front of us. I can tell I have a little bit more pace than him. I get a little bit impatient. I go around the outside, try to move up into P3. Hook it around the inside for the final turn, trying to stay tight. I got the power way too quickly. That destroys our run. Aston Martin's able to get it back up the inside. Now we're drag racing in turn 1. Into the braking zone, Aston Martin stays on the inside. I hook it around the outside and I'm actually able to carry my speed through. It gives me a lot better run than the Aston Martin. I look at going maybe side by side through a Rouge, but I think better of it. I have to back off the power here. This is going to put the McLaren behind us right against our bumper. So we are sandwiched going into Radeon. Aston Martin here actually picks up a slowdown. He cuts the track. So he's going to slow down to the right of us. McLaren's going up our outside. This is going to put us 3 wide down the Kimmel Straight. And now Aston Martin slows down and we are drag racing again with the McLaren into turn 7. McLaren goes up the outside and then the outside again going into turn 9. I try to get a good run out of here. He has a speed advantage, so he gets through and we'll be behind him again and go to the hairpin. We're diving down, very late apex, trail braking all the way down. I stayed behind him. Me and this guy were pretty similar pace the whole race. I was pretty impatient to get by him. I get a better run and look up the inside. At this point, I just say, fuck it, balls to the wall. We're going to go side by side into turn 12. Try not to die. We're staying tight on this inside curve, and we're still side by side. At this point, I realize this is a horrible idea. This allows the pink Porsche behind us to catch up. He won the previous race. He has great pace through here. So he's going to be right behind us as I try to go around this outside on the right-hander. We're going to go on board with a pink Porsche. A little bit too late on the brakes. I almost murdered the McLaren again right here. I back off the power. This allows the pink Porsche to get through. It's going to put us back into P5. Going into the end of the lap, this is P2. He gets a little bit early on the power, slides out, and this is going to get us a free position back into P4. Going into the end of lap 7 into lap 8. We're trailing the McLaren into the final couple of turns. The pink Porsche checked out in front of us, so we're going to have some clean air. We come around the final turn. I get a pretty decent run, look up the outside, and we're going to drag race all the way down into turn 1. We're going to go ahead and brake nice and late, a little bit after the 100 board. Carry the speed around the outside. We'll be side by side. However, I'm going to have a little bit of a speed advantage. This is like our 3rd or 4th battle with this guy this race. So I was pretty eager to get by. We are 2 wide down the straight coming up to Eau Rouge. Shit my pants right now because this is not where you want to be. And I'm able to squeeze by without dying and move up into P3. This allows the Aston Martin that was just trailing us to catch up. This is going to put him and the McLaren side by side going into turn 7. I have to defend a little bit here, but them battling is going to create a decent gap, which allows me to fight and try to catch up to the pink Porsche in front of us. Alright, this is where shit gets a little crazy. I'll preface this by saying this is probably the best battle I've had on iRacing to this point. To give you some context of the race, this is lap 20. The pink Porsche was able to overtake this Aston Martin in front of us, so this Aston Martin's P2 and I'm P3. I had about an 8-second gap with these guys in front of me. After the pit stops and everything, I was able to bring it down to about 5 seconds. I've been tailing this Aston Martin for about 4 or 5 laps now, just trying to get a feel for his strengths and weaknesses. I realize he gives space on the inside when we're going into heavy braking zone, so I'm going to try to either get him going into the final turn or into turn 1 on the final lap. Right here as we go into turn 7, I try to look up the inside. We're going to go side by side into turn 7, hug the inside. He gets a little bit better run. He's going to stay on the outside of me. And going into turn 9, same problem as earlier. He has a speed advantage and I have to back off as we go into the hairpin. So we're going to go with our plan A and try to get him either on the end of the straight going into the final turn or into turn 1. Alright, going into the final lap, this is the end of the final straight. He leaves the space on the inside. A little too far back to make a move, however I just try to throw him offline. Kind of messes up his run into the main straight. I'm able to get in the draft for a second. He leaves space on the inside, so I go and take that. And we're going to be nice and late on the brakes here. We're going to try to hug and squeeze this inside curb again. He goes out way too wide, kills his run. This is going to put us into P2. And from what I've seen this week, the Aston Martin has better straight line speed than the Porsche. So he's going to have that and the draft going into Eau Rouge and Rayon. Going on board, he's in the draft. He's getting a little bit closer. I'm going to try to close off this inside line and force him outside going into turn 7, which is what he does. So we'll be side by side going into turn 7. We'll be very late on the brakes here. He's even later on the brakes, going around the outside again. We're going to slot behind him. I try to fix my previous mistakes. I'm going to go out wide for turn 9. This gives me a great run. I'm going to go ahead and look up the inside here. Again, late on the brakes into the hairpin. I'm going to go and take the inside line, force him outside, and we'll be side by side again, going into the left-hander. He takes the inside line, forces me out, and we'll slot back behind him for now. We do have the draft, though, and we still have a few more turns, which I think I'm faster in. Out of turn 12, he goes way too wide. This kills his run in the straight. I get back in the draft. I'm going to go send it on the brakes here. Very late, go all the way around the outside. He sticks with me though. We almost make contact, stay in the inside, and this is kind of one of our final chances to make a move here. I send it around the outside, and we are side by side going into the final straight. I have a little bit of the speed advantage here going around the outside. I'm able to stay on the power a little bit more. This is going to be a great run up the final straight. We're going to be side by side. I'm going to creep up a little bit. I'm trying to get up past him, move to the outside line. He actually gets behind us and moves to the inside line, forcing us out, and then this happens. I decided to go out wide to avoid killing us both. This gives me an off track and a slowdown penalty. So as of now, I'm P2. I have to slow down before the line to serve that off track. So he'll slide up back into P2, putting us in P3 as we cross the line. But this is, again, probably the best race I've had in iRacing. The championship leader actually did not take part in this race, so this is going to put me into the top spot for the championship standings. I expect myself and the previous championship leader to be battling out all season, so I'll make some more videos with that as the season develops. But appreciate you guys sticking around. Go leave a like and subscribe if you haven't, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you.